Hi friends, welcome back. In the previous session, we just discussed about the column input. And in the column input, we were having one roadblock that data should be there in the standard numeric format. But that's not the case in the formatted input. So if we are working with the formatted input, so like we can just read the data which is not there in the standard numeric format. So that's the, I would say, power of using this. And here are some definitions of this. So like you can just pause the video and read through this. But like I'll be just telling you a few points. So like when we are just working with the list input, so we will have to work with the format and the informat, because when data is not there in the standard numeric format, so we will have to give the special instruction to the SAS to read that non-standard format data. So to read the non-standard format data, we just use the informat, and then to display that data back to the original format, we just use the format. Okay. And then in the formatted input, we do have two types of the pointers, which is the column pointer. So plus is the relative column pointer, and the at the rate is the absolute pointer control. Okay. So when we just give the at the rate, so we need to give the column from where value is just starting. And when we just give the plus, so we just give the number of columns we just want to take our SAS pointer to uh, ahead to the specific column on the basis of the previous variable. So let's go to the SAS, and what do we have here? We do have three data types here, raw data, which I'll be just using to explain you the formatted input. Okay, so in my first data, what do we have here? We do have the kind of like David, which is the name. Then we do have salary, which is there in non-standard numeric format, and then we do have the DOB as well. Okay, and then what is the difference between this data and this data is only like date. In the date we do have year written in the two-digit format, whereas over here we are having the year written in the four-digit format. So let's start reading our data, and we will just check then back like how it is just working. So I will just say simply data, and then I will just say formatted input, and then I will just say here input name, salary, and DOB. And then I will just say data lines here. Okay. And then I will just close this and I will just say run here. So let me just first run it as it is. So see, it is not reading anything because even name is character and we have not given the dollar, so it is not reading it properly. So I'll just give the dollar here. Now it will just try to read the name as character value. Let me run my code. So you can just see name is being read properly. Okay, now we do have the salary. So this data is there in the column format. Okay, so if we just try to count this, so like we do have, what do we have here? We do have name, we do have salary, and we do have DOB. So name starts from like 1 to 7. Then salary start from 9, 9 to like 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 9 to 16. Okay. And then DOB is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 18 to 24. So let's try to give this way first, because I just want to show you one thing, and let's try to read it. So see, and if we just come here, it is saying like invalid data for this LE, invalid data for the DOB, because it is not there in the standard numeric format. So when our data is there in the column, but we can't use this format. So what we will have to do, we will have to give the special instruction to read this LE value and special instruction to read the date value. So how we can do so? So like if we just count it, it is just having the 8 values, 8 digits, including like space, and then it is just having the 2 decimal. So this format is just called the comma 8.2, means 2 decimal and 8 values. Okay. Then similarly, this kind of format is just called the date 7 dot. So this date 7 dot means this complete this, and this 8 comma 8 dot 2 means like this. But after SAS reads this, how SAS will just come to know that where this SAS needs to read this 8.2, because SAS need to read from here, and then similarly this date 7 dot as well SAS need to read from here. So for that we will be using the column pointer. So suppose SAS has just read the value from here, so we will have to say like +1. So as we just give the +1, SAS will just read value from here to here. Okay. And then once SAS has just read or completed the value from here to here, which is comma 8.2, 8.2 for DOB as well, we will have to, like SAS will be here. So we will have to say come here. Okay. By one pointer or one column. So this way SAS will just try to read the value properly. Now if we just see here, you can just see that SAS is just reading our data, but there is issue. This value is not being read. See here, Sally DOB. For date, it is not coming proper. This. First, we are not able to check, like first let I'll be just explaining that. So first you just see here, whatever value we are just reading here are just coming as we were looking for, but you can just see here what we are reading. We are reading 3 to 4, and value is just coming, see here, it is 3 to 4. So this plus is like by default SAS is just reading up to 8. So let's take this out once and let's check this. So see, now SAS is just reading this. So again we are getting the problem. Why it is just becoming? Because first column which we are just reading, we need to specify the columns, like by which column, up to which column values are available. So for that we will have to give like 1 to 7. Okay. And then if we just give the +1, so this way it will be able to read properly. Because if we just try to read this way, so like wherever it will just find the space, it will just start in the next space it will start reading value in the wrong way. Okay. So as I have just explained, like 1 to 7, so now columns has been fixed for name from 1 to 7, and like 1 to 7, and like 1 to 7, and then we are just doing the +1. So for the Sally, SAS is just coming up to here. So that's how we just read the values properly. So if I just run, you will just see that our data is being read properly. Now you just see that data is just getting read from the non-standard numeric format. But again, you just see date as well. Date is also getting read, but it is being converted. If just go to the data set, you can see here, it is being converted to the numeric. So that's why initially I just said that there are only two formats in the, sorry, data type in this as numeric and the character. So now what we will just do, we will just do the or apply the formats. So we will just say format salary and comma 8.2. We can use the same format, and then for DOB as well, we can just use the same format. So now if I just run my code, so you can just see that if I just select this, it is just saying like type is the numeric and format is the date 7. And you can just see it has just changed the calendar, this icon for the DOB as calendar, which means like it is the date value. Okay. But data type is the numeric only. Okay. So that's how we can just use it. And if we want, we can just give the date 9 as well. So it will then just be showing us the year in the 4-digit format. See here. Now we are just seeing the year in the 4-digit format. So each and every small detail in code helps or impact something in the data or in the code, I would say output. So you need to take care about everything so that you are just writing the proper code. Okay. So next thing we will just learn in the next video, because like otherwise video will just become long. So let's meet in the next video. Till the time, bye bye guys.